they do a selection of the best players in Toledo and the selection of the best players in the state. And I never been selected in one of those, and almost like all my teammates were. But I've been with teammates and crying after games with 12, 11 years old. And I've been one of them, of course.
But before, you mentioned before, you didn't speak any English.
At all.
SNU in the NCAA, SU in NAIA. Did you want to go there?
I didn't have a choice. So at that, talking about that, like I will never put like football. Football is the first thing. So I will never put something before football.
But you also had a father that played for the senior team of your academy at some point.
Yeah. I still remember like going to the stadiums and he was in the starting 11 and walk off the field with him. So those are experiences that you remember as a kid, and now when you are like grown, you want to be in your dad's position.
You said you were a striker.
Yeah.
When you were a striker at this age, but you're a center back now.
Yeah, I was a striker until I was 15, 15.
Yeah. And then how did you move from striker to center back?
Having your family watching you, having people from your city watching you, and imagine like watching your dad playing as a professional level in your own city, and people since they were 8, 9 in my team, Villarreal, Atlético de Madrid, calling them. When we play against Juliana Simeone, he played 2 days ago against Real Madrid in Champions League.
Simeone's son,
yeah, Simeone. So you're like I beat this guy playing up there, and I've missed like a lot of things with my family, with friends, like dinners, ceremonies, like even a wedding of my uncle probably because I had a game.
Is it worth it?
Well,
Alvaro, 3 national or 3 regional or conference championships. You've played in professional academies as a kid. You've now transferred to NAIA. Many personal awards as well as team awards, but who's Alvaro before all of the success, especially in the US?
Well, Alvaro is a kid going to school in Spain every day and practicing for 3 weeks per day, soccer. Since I can remember, like I think that I was born playing, touching the ball, like playing soccer every time. I started with futsal when I was 3, 4 years old. Then I jumped into the outdoor soccer, playing 7v7, 8v8 in this academy that you talk about, Toledo. And well, Alvaro was not a great athlete, not a bad student, but not the best athlete until someone gave him the opportunity, I think, and could see him as a professional player or as a good player for his team. So I feel like, that's like a summary.
Spain, this is a big country in Europe, especially for football. Soccer called here in the US, but for football. You growing up in a country that football is the main sport, football is almost a lifestyle for most people. What responsibility did that come with for you as a young age?
I mean, I feel like in Spain, with that culture that you say, it is always a pressure, especially when you are in good academies, in good teams. They put the pressure on you of already winning games. You have a culture, the way you play in Spain, the way they want to teach you how to play. I feel like, of course, that depends a lot on the way that Spain have been playing the last few years. But it's also a pressure because people with 16, 17 in Spain, if it's not like a elite player, it's so hard to get into that professional level that is every kid's dream. So feeling like in Spain, I feel like it's one of the best academies level in the whole world probably. You feel that pressure that if you're not being one of the best in the best teams in your country with 16, 17, you feel like you're not going to get to the level that you always been dreaming. And also that was one step. That's why I came here also, because at one point you are with 19, 20 years old in an academy that is just a good team, but you see how people is doing that jump that you're not doing because they are like over you. Even none of your team make that step to the professional team. Maybe they get people from outside. So I feel like that pressure is also like Not a lot for a kid, but every kid I feel like has it on him or girl.
What eased that pressure at that time? I've asked this question to a couple other athletes, and a lot of the time they speak on how much free time they had and spending time with family and friends. But some have also said that what eased the pressure was doing the same thing that put on the pressure. So playing football, playing soccer, put pressure on you, but it also eased pressure.
Of course.
From what I was told and from what I've experienced. I wonder if that's the same thing for you, because if you're playing at a high level, you can also ease the pressure by, okay, playing with your friends, having fun. Is that true?
Exactly, yeah. At the end of the day, you play with your friends, no one is watching, no one is going to judge you in that case. And I feel like that pressure is the expectations that you put on yourself, but also the expectation growing in an academy, you see like older people than you winning. So when you see everyone winning, you put that expectation of winning. So when you don't win, and you are like with your friend that if you lose, nothing is happening. I feel like in this academy, if you don't win, it's like, we're not winning. Pressure for the team, no, because at the end of the day, you're a team of kids. But I've been with teammates and crying after games with 12, 11 years old. And I've been one of them, of course. But now I can understand of like, I should be having fun. But you want to win, you're in academy, the coaches want you to win. So I feel like the pressure is the one that you put on yourself, but because of the expectation that everyone has on the team.
And we spoke before, and you would have said to me, and what I found really interesting is that you, from a young age, were in a unique position, because not only did you play in academies in Spain, but you also had a father that played for the senior team of your academy at some point.
Yeah.
And we speak on pressure, we speak on expectations. And if I were to just think about it for a little bit and almost feel or guess what you would have experienced as a kid, having a father that played soccer at a high level, he must have been an influence on you from a young age and continues to be. Is that the case?
Yeah, he is, for sure. It was a shame because he retired from football at young age, so I was 8, 9, but I still remember like going to the stadiums and he was in the starting 11 and walk off the field with him. So those are experiences that you remember as a kid, and now when you are like grown, you want to be in your dad's position, having your family watching you, having people from your city watching you, and imagine like watching your dad playing as a professional level in your own city. I don't know, that like I go through the club and people still remind my dad because also, you know, Copa del Rey?
Yeah.
Okay, so they won Real Madrid in Copa del Rey and my dad was like 20, 21 years old.
Really?
So they have that picture in every single part of the stadium of Toledo.
Wow.
So it's cool to be going through the stadium and see your dad there in pictures.
Yeah.
And of course, he's like a person to follow like since I'm a kid. He also didn't love soccer as much when he was growing up. Like he was enjoying until a certain age, and then it became so professional. Like it depends so much on how your performance is. He had family, so he had to think about other stuff. But so he never put me like that pressure that we talked before. Like I feel like other parents do. I have teammates that after the games, the parents were mad at him because he didn't do how he should do it when 13, 14 years old. And my dad was always, you have fun, that's it. Maybe you need to do this if you want to get better, but never get into me or anything.
Did you show that appreciation for the fact that he didn't put too much pressure on you at that age?
Yeah, for sure.
That, yeah.
I will have like maybe with 16, 17, that push of like, you have, but you need this. He used to tell me, but he never pushed me to. He didn't tell me, hey, you need to run, you need to press, you need to go hard, you cannot like be scared. And those are the things that needed to improve. But he will never then, after the game, hey, let's go here, let's go practice. He will never like make me do it. It should be by myself.
By yourself.
That's also a good thing that I learned, that I had to do things for myself and I cannot expect other people to help me. So
Did you ever want him to be a bit more, pushy, maybe a bit more demanding of you? Did you ever think, oh, maybe he should be a bit more harder on you? It's difficult to think of what to ask because you don't want someone to be hard on you, but at the same time you want someone to push you.
That's what I'm saying. Like at that point when I was like, but now thinking about it, maybe I would have liked it. But then maybe if he had pushed me at that point, now I would have liked my dad being more chill.
Yeah.
So exactly. I cannot say, but I feel like also what should push you in the soccer should be the coaches. And I feel like that word I found my last years in Spain and my first years here, that the coaches made me like realize, hey, you need to do this, if you want to play, or if you don't want to be kicked out, or if you want to get a scholarship. So I've been getting those with the years.
And Toledo, young age, what was the age? When did you join the academy?
4 or 5.
4 or 5, because it was attached to the school. So from 4 or 5, you were balancing already 2 lives, school and football. And I want to know more about the academy system in Spain, because it's easy for me to say, well, it works a certain way, the different teams, but you've experienced it firsthand. What was your experience at a young age being put into a professional academy while balancing school? How did you manage to like navigate in an early age?
Well, I feel like in an early age it's kind of easy because you have your parents doing everything for you. But it's also like, it's not like here, so you don't go to elementary school or middle school and you practice your sport at the same moment, like it's everything connected. So it's true, like you have 2 different lives, because you have your friends for elementary school, because it's weird that you have the same teammates as classmates. So you have like 2 different lives, kinda. You are more like, you need to go dressed to the school, because I was in a Catholic school, so we had like a dress code when we were like young.
A uniform.
Yeah, uniform. So that changed a lot, because it's like less freedom. Yeah, you had your break, but you're with your classmates studying, and then freedom, wellness, and go to practice. Yeah, and 1.5 hours, 3 days per week. When you are young, like until you are 14, 15, you don't practice more than 3-4 days per week.
So from like 4 to 5, you practice only 3 days a week?
Yeah, 2-3, because
in the evening time?
Yeah.
And it looked more like you go to school, like how everyone else does here. You go to school, maybe go home and then get ready for practice.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you were 6, 7, and you're slowly introduced into the life of doing both. I'm interested that if at that age were you like, okay, well, maybe this is, am I taking this seriously, or am I just having fun, or did you balance both? What was it?
I feel like with 6, 7, I was already thinking about more soccer, more football than school. I was, because I felt like in school I could pass it with good grades without like putting that much effort. And then on the other hand, I had football. I wanted to put my max effort. I was enjoying. Imagine at that age, you are discovering things. You're getting better. You're having more fun than ever playing football. You're going to the weekends and play. So I feel like I was football on my mind. And then of course passing my classes. But I was in class and I was thinking already in the break to go play futsal outside. Like it was like that.
It was always football for you. And I've had many athletes who I've spoken to in front of the camera, off the camera, and sports has always been something that they would have prioritized first, and it's very interesting that everyone has their own different answer, but they all seem to have, we all seem to have a similar response to balancing sports, and it all comes from the dream of wanting to be at the highest level possible. 6, 7, 8, 9, that period of time in your life, you were considering, or not considering, you were at a point in your life where you wanted to pursue the dream of becoming a professional footballer? Or was it just, well, we'll see what happens, maybe?
I feel like it was more, how I told you, my dad wasn't never pushing me like, hey, you need to do this to be professional. He always go day by day. I was a kid, have fun always. So of course, in my mind, I used to watch every single football game. So in my mind, I wanted to be there, but it wasn't like now that I want to be professional and I know that I can do it. At that point, it was more like a thought. Like you would ask me in class, of course, everyone wanna be professional, but also maybe I wanna be another thing because those are like people on TV that are like elite people. So at that point, I was more like enjoying. Of course, I wanted to be professional. That was my dream. But also I was like, it's time. I don't know. I'm 7, 8, 9, so still. And I wasn't like a person who people came up to me and say, hey, good, you're a good player. Or, oh, you are like, watch out with this player because in this game he's going to score or he's going to, because I was a striker. So, but I never was like recognized because I wasn't like a great player. So I never thought about, oh, maybe I had the level to do the next step. And instead, I had teammates, 3, 4, because we had a good like year that we were playing since we were 7 to 16 together. So we were a good team, and people since they were 8, 9 in my team, Villarreal, Atlético de Madrid, calling them, and they never left because we had a good academy. But just knowing that those people are called by elite teams, and you're still here, that nobody calls you. Like even they do a selection of the best players in Toledo. And the selection of the best players in the state, and I never been selected in one of those, and almost like all my teammates were. So you are like, well, I'm here having fun, let's see what happens. So I will never thought, oh, these guys are better than me. So
did that not like play on your head or play on your mind that you have friends that you see in class every day that are, you know, playing with you, you're enjoying time playing football, and they're the ones getting the calls, but not you? Did that ever like, oh, but am I doing the right thing? Like, what's wrong? Like, what? Did that ever just make you feel like, oh, I don't know what's going on? Like, why can't I get a call?
Yeah, but that was more late on age, like more when I started playing 11v11. But at that point, everyone played the same minutes, everyone was having fun. I was in a good academy, we were winning every single game by 20, 25. So I was just having fun, enjoying the moment. And also, I appreciate that because I would like to be with 8, 9, 10 years old, be called by elite team, putting that pressure on you more than you had in Toledo. So of course I would have liked, but I feel like that thing benefit. I don't know, like I took advantage of it in the future because I didn't have that pressure until like 2, 3 years ago that I was like, maybe I can do this.
Yeah, and you said you were a striker.
Yeah.
When you were a striker at this age, but you're a center back now.
Yeah, I was a striker until I was 15. Yeah.
And then how did you move from striker to center back?
With 14, 13, I was playing a striker and I was like giving more assists than goals. So they put me like more as a 10.
Okay.
And then at that point, more professional level, and I started playing less. So I was 10, but I wasn't even playing. And then at 16, 17, this coach tried me as an 8 at the beginning of the season and pre-season too. And I started playing good, 5 goals in 5 games. I wasn't a starter, but I was starting like to get in dynamic, playing. And then in the end of that year, he tried me as a 6, as a holding midfielder. But it was like a different formation because it was like 3 defenders. But I was in the middle, but attacking, I became 6 to build up. Yeah. So it was like kind of weird, but he liked me a little bit. And then the next week, like at the last week or 2 weeks before the season end, he tried me as a center back in practice. I do the worst practice in my life, the worst. Like I couldn't even build up, nothing. But I went up to him and I was like, I feel like I haven't done my best practice, but I feel confident. Like, try me in the next week as a center back. Because I had enough confidence with him. And nothing, he tried me. We won 2-0. So with 17, I made my first game.
Clean sheet?
Yeah, clean sheet.
Yeah.
And then that summer, he called me. And he told me I want to do, it was like under 17. And he called me and he said, I want to do a team and I want you to be the captain with another guy. Yeah. And you as a center back. So I passed 2 years behind that, like that year. I wasn't playing a minute. Like I was in the worst team in the academy.
Really?
And in 2 years, thanks to that coach, of course, like he changed, he switched me position, he tried with me, he pushed me the way he should push. Amazing. And then I became captain the second year with him. We won every single game in the league.
Really?
We promote to like the second division of Spain. So
in the academy level?
yeah, in the academy. So the first team went to the first division because they were in second, and we went to the second because we were in third. Like 30 victories, a lot, like playing so good. And yeah, as a center back, I started playing good that season. And that next year is when the first division of under 19 in the academy called me. The coach didn't like me at all. So I started without playing probably like the first 5-6 games, 0 minutes. Then 3-4 center backs got injured. I played against Atletico de Madrid. We won 1-0 in Madrid. And again, the other center back get back to healthy. He started playing again. And then I was like, coach, like I'm practicing like the best here because I had the confidence from the year before. Like I knew that I could do it. At that point, maybe I'm doing the stuff right to be in this team, to be practicing, having the level. And he told me, you are not going to play even if you practice better or you play better than any center back of this team.
Really?
So we were on relegation almost.
What was his reason for that though? There's no reason.
No reason. I went to the preseason. The reason that he got me for the team was that I was good making friends. That's what he told me. Yeah, I went to preseason already, all the summer getting ready, training. I get there on shape. I played preseason amazing. He told me, yeah, you're going to stay with me. I was so excited, but because you make good friends in here, you're like a good person to have in the locker room.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know if I want that. And that will happen. I didn't play in the first 14 games. I played 4 or 5 games, and we won all of them. So at one point, I was just talking with the director of the team, like, hey, this coach doesn't even want to give me an opportunity.
Yeah. What was he saying?
He was saying, nah, you're lying. You're not. Like, he wasn't like giving me the reason. And one day he was like, I'm going to go to practice to see if you can practice good, or you're like, he has a reason to play you or not. So he went down practice, like, from the office, and I did one of the best practice of my life, like. So he was like, hey, maybe you are like, you have the reason in this one. Yeah. Next weekend we were like 7 hours of trip. I get there, he put me out of the roster.
7 hours
like 7 hours traveling, and then get to the destination, and there make a roster and leave me out after travel 7 hours.
The roster or the starting 11?
Yeah, like, no, the roster. Like, he used to bring 2-3 more people that used to leave, like, used to get out of the roster and watch it from the stands. And that was like my third time traveling like 6-7 hours and staying in the stands.
Really?
So I text him, I was like, if you're not gonna, this cannot happen anymore. Like, I'm gonna go to a worse team or something. Like, I wanna play. I know that it's a good experience, I'm getting better, but I'm not playing and I'm here like depressed almost. And the director told me, yeah, shut up. Yeah. Next week, fire the coach, and the director goes as a coach.
The director comes as
the
a
director
coach.
That I was talking through like 3-4 weeks about I'm not playing, comes up like as a coach, as a head coach.
Yeah.
And then he has a meeting with me. He tells me, you're gonna play a starter this weekend.
You're gonna play?
Yeah, he told me like, you are gonna play a starter this weekend. If you don't play good, you're not gonna step on the field in the whole season anymore. But if you play good, you might stay there. So first game we won 2-0, and I start playing 4 or 5 games, winning. We were like 3 points far from like already saved.
From promotion?
Yeah, from relegation. We were in relegation, so we started winning, and we were like 3 points from like save us, like from the salvation. I don't know. And then COVID came, and I cannot play anymore. So I don't have any offer after that because I play in a good division, but I just played 6 games.
Yeah, and that was 2020, right? And COVID.
Yeah, 2020.
But 2020 COVID, you were born in 2001, so you'd be 19. Yeah. But you were introduced to the senior team at what age?
Oh, well, maybe it was COVID was 2020?
Yeah.
But in May, because in Spain it's like the season is the whole year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we finished like in April. We had like 6-7 more games, and it finished. So then that 2020, in August, I joined the preseason with the senior team with the B. But also that second team that I was captain with the team, I did my debut with the senior team, but the big one, like the second team.
The B team.
I play a couple of games, but I used to practice with them as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, the year after the first division, like 2020, I started playing for them. Like actually, I'm practicing with the first team a couple of times.
2020 afterwards.
Yeah, 2020, 2021, like that season.
Yeah.
I started playing the B team and practicing with the first one. So senior already.
What was that like? That experience, transition to the first team.
Like for me, that I've been watching Toledo since I'm 4, 5. Well, not even like I was born with my dad playing in Toledo.
So you're a Toledo fan.
Yeah, like 1,000%. Like I always Real Madrid is my team, but like Toledo, I feel like I support more Toledo than Real Madrid. Even now, though they are like in a lower division. Hopefully, hopefully. So just tell my coach at that point from the B team, tell me, hey, can you come with me? You're gonna practice tomorrow with the first team in the morning, like already professional, like you are going in the morning, you're missing class because you are gonna practice. And that's not usual in Spain because you don't have both connected. So they tell you need to miss class to go with the first team of Toledo. So just get their locker room that is, like, it's not like, in USA they have amazing stadium, amazing locker room, but for me at that point that I was in an academy, a small field, you go there, that is like 10,000 people, and then the facilities are good with hot tub. If I was like a kid, nothing practicing, doing good, and just enjoying. But I never did my debut there.
Never debut?
No, just in a scrimmage, but I never play in the field, in the big one. So that would be one of my bucket lists.
To play for your team.
At one point.
You do play a position that requires a senior figure usually. Center back. Most of the time, coaches play players that are older, more experienced. It's just how it goes. But you managed to train with the senior team while still playing that position, center back. Was there ever an occasion where, maybe in practice or in the scrimmage you're talking about, where that experience, the lack of experience was tested? You know what I mean by tested? If you didn't have experience in that position or experience to play at that level, has that ever been, what's the word? Has it ever been used not to your advantage? Especially like my first couple practice with the first team. Also the striker was like not old man, but like 30, 31 experience, and you could tell how the way he pressed, the way he talked to me, or the way it was not to scare me, but you could see how they don't get, of course, nervous because it's their team. But I felt that pressure again. Because you press to me and I know what to do, but then a first team is pressing in a different way, that he's doing it just to put pressure on you. He's not even pressing good. You are just thinking. So the first practices were tough a little bit. But then I got the rhythm, and also the team helped. Like they were fun. Some of them, the veterans one, were like tough, some slight tackle, but like normal, like the normal stuff.
Yeah, it's usually.
But if you were playing at that age, you're playing in that time during COVID, yes, but you were playing for a team that you always wanted to play with, the first team, and you ever got a moment of this is where you know the word starstruck, where you were like, oh, wow, you ever got a moment you sit back like, wow, like I'm playing for this team. You ever had that, you sit down like, wow, I'm actually playing for the first team. You ever had that moment?
I had it. And at the point that I came to USA, that last year being practicing with them, for me was hard because I know I was closer to get into the first team, not maybe with contract, but maybe to do my debut the year after. So then when the opportunity comes to go to USA or maybe do your debut in Toledo, I never had that like feeling of, I'm playing my dreams team. Because I never played in that stadium. Like the academy plays underneath the stadium, like in not small, but no stands, nothing like crazy. And then you see the stadium on top. So I feel like if I step in the field at one point of my life is when I will feel like, like this is like a dream. Even if now also it was a lower division at that point when I came here, so it was still a dream because it's stepping in the field that you've been watching your whole life, watching the players, promotion, relegations, everything. But I felt like it was smarter to come here, and I had enough time to maybe go to Toledo and make my debut there.
Yeah, I think it must have been a very difficult decision to be able to, pack up your things and you had to move on because you wanted to come to a new experience. Yeah. But how did the move to the US come about? How did that start?
Okay, so I was doing like a 2 years degree in Spain after my high school, and how I told you is football on one side and school on another side. So I didn't have motivation. Like my second year, I was playing with the B team. So for me, I was more focused, of course, on football at that point. So I didn't have that motivation of school. I didn't even go to class sometimes. I wasn't enjoying that part of my life, just the football part of my family, but the school wasn't good. And then at that point, I couldn't go into a degree in Spain because you need like a grade, and I didn't get the grade that I had to. So at that point, where this agency contacted me, telling me that I play in a good division in Spain, that I had opportunity to come to the US. The thing is, my GPA in Spain was at 2.05, so the opportunities were like close. And then talking with my parents, of course, we took a decision because I wasn't doing great in Spain. I was doing stuff that should nothing crazy, but I wasn't focused. I wasn't going to class just to sleep in or to play PS4, not doing right things. So then we put the balance and we say, okay, next year, what do I have? No school. So I need to do something with my life because in Spain you have that culture, you finish studying, you need to do something, you need to generate, you're not gonna get to the second team in Toledo, not get any money and just be there practicing and living with me, not doing. Yeah. So we put that in balance, I'm gonna stay in the B team with no school, probably with no generating money, or maybe working in a sports store part-time, or maybe take this opportunity and come to America and maybe a life change, because I never traveled before. My first trip was to America.
Really?
Yeah, in my mind I was like, I'm not gonna leave Spain in my life. I'm fine here.
What about moving around in Europe? No?
Never.
Because your first flight was to the US. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy trip. yeah. Nice. And then contacting with my agency, I had 2-3 offers, I think, and the 3 of them were bad records, and one of them was SNU. And talking with them, he was like, well, Oklahoma, it's not too cold, it's not north, because the other one was in Ohio or something.
You don't have to say what the name of the school, but you can say the level and where it is.
Okay, NAIA and another D2. But then I look at this school and it was 215 record, but Coach Harmon called me. I thought it was this coach not had, the way he talks is nice. I feel he's bringing good people. And then that spring also it was COVID season. Yeah. And they play 6-7 games. Yeah. And the record was 2-4 or 3-3.
Yeah.
So he told me we're getting better. But also I was looking at the last record, it was 215. At the end of the day, 17 games is what counts. Yeah. But I didn't have any chance. He gave me a good deal. I came here and probably the best choice I ever done in my life. Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Man, going back a little bit, because you're in Europe and you've been through the academy since you were 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But your only trip out of Spain was coming to the US at 19, 20.
Yeah.
Was there a reason why you never went outside of Spain, even into Europe or outside of Europe? Is there a reason why?
Yeah, I feel how I told you, for me football was everything.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't miss a weekend to go with my mom or to travel. We haven't traveled a lot usually. We haven't been around the world like a couple of times. My mom, I think that she went to New York when I was 15, but I had a game that it was important because we were East, but I wouldn't be able, like I cannot miss a practice or a game just because I want to travel. So that was a thing. And then in summer I want to be in Spain because how the season is the whole year. In Spain you just have time to rest, like to actually have time during the summer. So I never like to be like, why I'm gonna go outside of Spain if I have my friends here, and then during the season I wouldn't be able to miss a game. Like, and I feel like also that helped me to grow as a player because the consistency. I don't know how to say it. Consistency.
Staying in Spain.
Yeah. Because I was never the best player, but I was always practicing there. You know, I will never miss a practice. I will never miss a game, and I feel like that helped me in the future a lot.
You mentioned that about twice before that you were not the best player. Did you think that at that age, or are you saying that because you're looking back on it now that you were not the best player?
No, I knew it. I knew it at that point. Oh, like my mom used to tell me like, nah, but like I knew it because at one point like you're not playing, you're getting to an age that people is like doing good, your coach is still like not giving you confidence. You feel like you're not helping the team, even if you could, but confidence I feel like is so important. So when you have the 11 and 12 and your coach is not giving any confidence, like he's not giving you any confidence, that affects a kid. And without confidence, I feel like makes a player way worse. At the same time that if a normal player has a lot of confidence, he's gonna play pretty good because I feel like confidence is a big important part in the game.
Confidence is important.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you said that because I remember I was keeping the score for a basketball game, just a side job that I have, keeping the score. And the ages of the kids range from, I would say, 6 to 13. I was in between the 6 and 7-year-old age group. I was keeping the score, nothing too hard. But there's some kids that are just excelled. They're just naturally gifted athletically at a young age. It doesn't matter how much confidence they have. They're just good. There's some that maybe just run up and down non-stop. They jump. They're very athletic, but the confidence to perform technically isn't there. And there's some that may be good. You've seen like little pieces of how good they can be, and for the most part, they don't have the confidence to execute consistently, or they may not have the belief in themselves to perform all the time. And I'm seeing this at a young age. I'm seeing this at 6, 7, 8, and these kids are young and they're playing in what we call minor league, And I remember seeing this one time, this kid, he's tall, so he's playing basketball, he's taller than the rest, but he's just very, very shy, very, very timid. He's not very aggressive. They expect him to be aggressive because he's tall, but he just seemed as though he just didn't want to be there, Maybe he was just afraid. But I remember he came across to the bench where I was keeping the score, and he was talking to his mom, and he was like, but I want to play, but I don't feel comfortable. Or
mess around.
That's probably in my words, but in his words, he was saying something like, Mom, I want to be here, but I can't get the ball and do what I want to do. I'm afraid. And I was like, I thought about it, and I was like, wow, like he wants to play, but he doesn't have the confidence.
He doesn't have the confidence.
You were 19 at that time, or between the time of transitioning to a centre back. You're saying that you knew you weren't the best player, but you still had to develop a sense of, okay, I need to be confident in my ability. Is that the case?
That's the case. Because in that case, like I wasn't afraid of messing up. Like I knew I could play. Like I was mad every time that I wouldn't play. Like my goal was playing every time. But I realized that I wasn't helpful at that point. So the confidence, I feel like I had confidence of like I'm gonna play good. I know how to do it, but I didn't have that person giving me the confidence that I needed probably. And when I changed to center back, I don't know. I felt like from outside and from the team, they had that confidence on me because I don't know, because maybe it's a weird thing that I think about it, but like me being the first man receiving the ball, everything like depends on my line, on me.
Yeah.
And just feeling that your team feels confident with you, with the ball,
Yeah.
that the coach wants you having the ball. So those small things made me realize like, oh, okay, maybe I need to making that harder pass
Yeah.
and then getting more confidence with it. Like
Yeah.
maybe I start with easy passes, but then you get that confidence with the season, through the season, and you put that pass that at the beginning you probably were worried about missing because you are starting a new position. But I feel like when you see from my perspective as a center back, like they want you to have the ball even if you are like the last man. I don't know, that made me like feel comfortable
Cool,
with it,
yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
like, fuck, I can do it. I can do it. Yeah.
That's good, man. We're gonna do some quick fire questions, 10 or 12. First one: play professional in the 4th tier in Spain or the 1st tier in the US? The 4th tier.
The fourth.
Yeah.
I feel like first division of MLS right now
MLS right now.
because the football is growing a lot,
Uh-huh.
and right now that they're like I'm here in America, I'm seeing everything how it's growing. I feel like fourth division will be like a tough one, but I will stay in first division of USA at least to start.
What if I said the 3rd division of Spain?
That could be tougher. I feel like I will go to Spain because third division is one step from the professional, like elite professional, and I'm still like young. I'm like 23, and I feel like in a third division of Spain will be like a good level to be there.
So you would say 3rd division of Spain. If I said 3rd versus the 1st, you would say 3rd.
Third, yeah.
Best field or stadium that you've played in?
I gotta choose between Villarreal and Atlético de Madrid, but I'm gonna choose Atlético because against Villarreal I didn't play. I went, but I didn't play. But yeah, it was Atlético Madrid. We played like in the first team facilities where they practice.
Really?
The grass was like turf, like it was mixed. It was turf and grass at the same. I don't know. It was
Turf
like
and grass?
Yeah, it was amazing. Like just like perfect, no like burns or anything. The ball was going on the ground, and then we won. So
you're pulling up to this facility that you've seen many times. And what's going through your head? Like you're looking at everything, it's like wow, like
I feel like I realize now when I think about it, but at that point you're just like wanna win this guy. You're not focused on. Then 1 hour before I was here, Morata or Griezmann was practicing there, you know.
Yeah.
And then also when we play against Juliano Simeone, he played 2 days ago against Real Madrid in Champions League.
Simeone's son, yeah.
Yeah, Simeone's son. So you're like I beat this guy playing at there, and you realize those things afterwards, and it's like pretty cool. But yeah,
How was he at that age?
he wasn't like amazing. Like I feel like now he has the same like way to play. Like he pressed, he ran in the box. He was crazy because he is the first at that level. I never like seen a professional striker, but the way he moves in the box, it was like different. He used to go first post, second, like a sprint, try to go crash on you and then go to the second post. So the way he moved was like, I feel like one step above everyone.
Yeah.
But with the talking about quality wise or technique wise, nothing like special.
But now, I don't know, it's like
Now we're like practicing with
practicing,
them
yeah.
too.
Crazy. Play under a coach you don't like but win titles, or love your coach but never win.
Hey, my coach, and win titles.
Win titles.
1,000%.
Sure. Even if you just don't like you just he's not the best person to be around and he's negative, still win.
Still win.
Yeah.
Still win.
I'm sure there are a lot of players that would say the same thing, but a lot of younger players would be like, oh, but don't like having a bad coach. What would you say to them?
That at the end of the day, you are the one playing and the one like. At the end of the day, the coach is not your friend. You don't need to like your coach. You don't need to like your boss. Like you don't need. If you are in your office, you don't need to like your boss. You're working for him, but you are with your own goals. If that makes sense. So, if I hate my coach, but I play and I'm winning every title, I'm gonna keep hating him. He's gonna keep hating me probably. But if it works, it works. It's better than having a great relationship with your coach and not winning nothing.
There you go. So, best player you've played with?
Here in America, in college, will be Unai is probably one of the best. Technique-wise, I don't know, but the way he can score every single ball that he touches is something insane for me. Then a couple players my freshman year, also Francisco Chong. And in Spain, there was a couple when I play in the first division. One is Miguel and one is Lara. It's called. They were like made from another. Like it was different football. They knew what they did, like for real.
So they still play now?
Yeah, they play in fifth division and fourth division of Spain. And then also when I went to FC Dulce, it's the first time that I play with actually a top player. And I told him, like, I went after practice. This guy is Charlie Adams. He made a debut in Premier League, I think.
Yeah, Charlie Adams,
Yeah, and I told him, look, this is the first time that I practice with a person that I can tell, like, he's an elite player. Like, the way he control to do the next movement, the way he looked before he received the ball. Yeah. You can, like, you could see a professional elite player there. Yeah. For sure.
Charlie Adams. No, the best player you played against?
Well, Giuliano Simeone will be one.
Yeah, you won, yeah.
But there was one left back in Valencia that guy was 16, 17, and we were like 19 already. He was walking. He was the best in the game. He scored, he assisted. He was left back. Now he's in the first team of Valencia.
Really?
And amazing. And then the one striker from Villarreal, that was different. Crazy. He was a striker. He came up to 6 to receive the ball, turn, long distance ball to the foot, like
couple
different top player.
Go to pregame meal? Like what?
Depends on the time that I play. For example, in college, sometimes we play at 1. I like to don't even eat almost like maybe a protein bar, like a banana with some water, because I rather to be hungry at the point of the game than be like full and feel slow. But if it's like late on 6, 7 p.m., I try to do one meal, some pasta, carbs, and some chicken or protein.
Solid.
Yeah, it's like...
Train non-stop, but sacrifice many years for time to yourself or for your family, or have a balanced life, but never reach your full potential as a player?
Now I will say sacrifice everything to reach my potential.
Now?
Yeah, but I feel like I've done that in a point in the middle, like I've missed like a lot of things with my family, with friends, like dinners, ceremonies, like even a wedding of my uncle probably because I had a game. Yeah. So at that, talking about that, like I will never put like football. Football is the first thing, so I will never put something before football. I mean, if it's a family audience, yes, but I also didn't put that extra job that make me reach the full potential probably. But I did all I could do in terms of practice times. Like when I had to practice, I practiced. But then outside of practice, maybe I didn't go to the gym enough, or I didn't do enough things to reach my full potential. But I feel like sacrificing, a person that has been playing from a young age, any sport, knows that they gotta sacrifice a lot of stuff.
Is it worth it?
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah.
It gives you the worst and the best moments of your life for sure, but yeah, it's worth it.
Play for your country, but never play club professionally, or play professionally for a club, but representing another country.
we're talking about what level professional though.
Okay.
Because representing Spain,
You're playing at the highest level. You're playing
the highest level.
Premier League.
Premier League.
Premier League team. But you have to represent another country. Or would you
Play for Spain,
play for Spain but never play professionally?
never play professional. And it can be I mean, I love Spain, but at the end of the day, like Spain plays 3 times per year.
Yeah.
That's like
Something.
the dream of every single kid play for their country, but probably the 0.0001% made it.
Yeah.
And the 0.002% makes it into professional. Yeah. So if I can be professional full time and maybe play for another country, I think that I will do it.
So another country.
Another country.
But what if I change the country though? What if let's say it's Portugal.
Portugal and being professional.
Portugal, but you're professional at the highest level, but you're playing for Portugal. Yeah.
That's a close one because Spain and Portugal are like close. Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like playing every weekend in a Premier League stadium or chasing your dream.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, maybe in my future, maybe I'm playing for another country. So who knows?
Yeah, you never know. But that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Break records, but never win a major trophy, or win multiple trophies but remain underrated.
I think that now in college, talking about college, I feel like being like having personal trophies is important because for me, if you win national champions, yes, it's okay. But at the point that you're there, like average college, I feel like it's better to be like outstanding in your team because you want something after. Like it's not a club that you're gonna be your whole life winning trophies. So at college level or temporal level, maybe personal trophies. But then if I stay for a professional team, I feel like the team will be more important at that point.
Good. Simple. Away games or home games?
Home games.
Home games. Yeah. No matter the level. So like you played in away or home? Home. Yeah. You know, I would think that most athletes would say home, which is what you said. But
I like away though. I like people going into me.
Travel.
I like travel, and I like people cursing at me. Like I enjoy people screaming. So home because your family is closer, your girlfriend, your friends. So I like home, but I like the like hustle that you have in away games against that people. Yeah. I enjoy, for example, in Toledo when I play in the B team, we used to go to small towns, but the small town, everyone in that small town used to go to the games because we were playing against them and we were like in the state with a good team. So you go to a small town like the big city, so they were like 400, 500 people just killing you. One day we had to live with the cops and everything with the police.
Really?
Because they were almost killing the ref, like throwing drugs.
Really? So compare. I wonder if there's even a comparison. Compare that environment or those games in Spain at that age, 19, 20, to a game here in the US that you've played in that has been hostile. Is there any comparison? Or
like in Spain is where here also college are like respectful with you, especially like Christian college. They show that there are not like a lot of people going to soccer, but I think that is growing and it's getting better on that. So But
you made it to US. You spoke on how you managed to come here, the reasons for coming here. But what was it like coming here and not being able to speak English? Because from speaking with you now, this is incredible. You speak 2 languages. Your English is good, but before you mentioned you didn't speak any English
at all. Like I remember landing in Oklahoma. And she coach at the end there saying, hey. And he dropped me off at the school. And we went, like, the car was me, the coach, and another teammate. And I didn't talk in the whole car trip because I wouldn't be able, like, I couldn't understand a word they were talking between each other. So then the coach at one point turns to me and he was like, Alvaro, you need to learn English. And I was like, coach, step by step.
You understood what he said?
Yeah, and I was like, step by step. That's the only thing that I say in the whole trip. And I have a tattoo on it, on my leg, yeah, because the only first sentence that I say in America was that, and my first year was not communicating with.
Yeah.
But I feel like football at the end of the day is a ball, 11 people, and you can communicate with the ball. But in college, I wasn't like talking with people, just with Hispanic people, you know.
It's funny you mentioned that the football, soccer here, most universities, D2, D1, NAIA, soccer has most of the time the most internationals.
Yeah.
Volleyball, usually just a lot of
Americans,
national players born here in different states. Basketball, a mix,
yeah,
but
not as much as soccer.
American. Football, mostly American. Volleyball, tennis, mostly American. Hockey. What's the other? Baseball, more American.
Yeah.
But with a big sport like soccer in the US, and to have mostly internationals, I was thinking about it today. I was like, oh, wow, like we have there's every team has players from everywhere, and in most situations, players come and go. So you come into a locker room and you got players from every continent. There's someone listening to this and is like, if I'm American or if I'm international, or if I'm from anywhere, and I'm coming into a team as a freshman, and I have players from all over the world, what could you say to them to say, well, what can you say to them that can prepare them for having a team as diverse as that?
Okay. Like more American maybe,
or any international coming in. I was like, what, a bit afraid of playing for people that you don't know, or people that don't speak English, teammates that don't speak English.
I feel like also depends a lot on the personality, on the of the person, because I'm like a outgoing guy, so I feel like just listen everything that they say at the beginning. Like try to listen, try to communicate, make jokes, like just have fun with them. Because I remember my first year, like I wouldn't be able to communicate with people, but I remember having fun with people that I wouldn't be able to talk. So and like making friends that I couldn't like have a conversation with them, but I considered them my friends because I knew they were there in my game. Like they were a teammate, they were helping you. I don't know. I feel like in a sport you can make a friend without even talking to him. Like you can understand him. You can, and sport-wise, to any person, I feel like you'll understand. Like you could communicate with, you could play with 11 different languages in the team. That if you practice more than 2-3 months, that team is gonna have chemistry. No matter the languages.
Yeah. Just about the environment that you, who you are, but for you didn't speak any English. You had to learn. You learned. Some of my teammates, I remember, they say they learned watching what was it called? The TV show, The Office.
The Office.
Watching The Office. Did you do anything like that? Did you watch any TV shows to learn English?
Nah. When I got here, I started watching movies, but in Spain I watched a couple maybe because they told me it's important, but I knew that I didn't have the English, so in 2 months I'm not gonna learn everything. So I was just like, let's go there and learn from zero. Like I mean, I did English since I was 6, 7 until I was 18, but never like crazy English, like with just vocabulary, grammar. But I will never communicate with an American person or with an English person. So it was tough.
But you managed to make it through your first year, and that first year happened to be the year that you won your first championship at SNU. Coming off of a season that you were before you came in, they were 2-15.
Yeah, 2-15.
And that was conference or overall 2-15 overall.
Yeah, like the fall
Yeah.
2019, no, 2020, no, 2020, fall 2020,
2-15 to winning the GAC championship. What would you say was the reason behind that successful season, the first successful season for this university in NCAA, if I'm not correct?
Yeah, you are. I feel like they had a base that semester before I got here, but the coach that year made good recruiting, and we made like a good group of friends. At the beginning, we were like wondering what our level was at that point, because of course we come from 215. Yeah, we are good players, but we haven't played against anyone at that point. So it's going game by game, and then we play against West Texas, I think. Like, it was top 5 in the country, and they beat us in the last minute of overtime. So then we start like, hey, maybe we can do something. And we started conference 5-0, and until the last game we didn't win the conference, but it was like nobody at the beginning of the season would have expected won the regular season the first year. Like, it was pretty impressive for 5th position or 6th position to winning it. It was good, but then we went to conference and you could see the lack of experience that you talk about. Because I also feel like international when they come with 19-20, they had that experience from playing clubs there.
Yeah, playing before, yeah.
And here people were good players, but me included, because I was freshman too, we didn't have that semi-final conference tournament experience.
Yeah.
And I felt like that made us like lost, and it was a bad loss.
And you still managed to, even though you lost, you still managed to do something historic for the school.
Yeah.
Celebrations, what was that? What was that like that one?
It was something new for everyone, because we were like, what to do? Like, we went to dinner, we were celebrating. It was something special for everyone. We were talking about ring, because imagine like me coming from 215, I had Toledo being there, and then my first year at ring, like for me wouldn't be something like like I couldn't even imagine that.
Yeah.
My first, my second, even my 4 years in America.
Yeah.
So then it was like fun. Yeah.
Then 2021, did you play summer ball? No.
I just played this last summer, my first time.
But you're off of, so if season finished in November in 2021 or 2022.
2021, my first season. December, finished, November.
Then 2022. So coming off of the back of a successful season, you're into off season.
Yeah.
And where's your head at this point? Because most players, you want more. You want to be able to compete for more titles. 2022 off season, what did that look like? What did the routine for you look like?
My second year, my routine was more like professionalized, not like crazy, but as a freshman, I didn't have like that routine that. Because my freshman year, I was getting that routine of waking up at 6 a.m. to go to the gym. I was never like doing that in Spain. So my second year, I feel like it was easier to adapt for the preseason style, because my first year, at the end, I was tired. Like, I was sore from the preseason, from the regular season, and at one point of playoffs, I felt dead. So my goal that second year was like be in shape until like we're done of the season, because I want to get to playoffs and be 1,000% to be able to win the conference.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people stay in the team, and we knew that regular season we had to, like, it wasn't nothing crazy. So I remember winning it. I remember celebrating, but not at all like the first year. Like, we knew that we didn't want that. Like, we had to do that. Now we had to win the conference because it was something new, and we would be able to do it if we had won 2 regular seasons in a row.
Yeah.
So, and I felt like that conference championship was completely different, like, in compared with the first year, like way more confidence.
The next one, the 2022, 2023.
Yeah, 2022.
So that was a whole different
story.
Yeah.
Playing with confidence. We were playing with confidence because we knew, because the step of regular season we already done it like the last year. So this time is mandatory.
Yeah.
So now we had to play how we know, but in conference in front of like here in SNU too, because we hosted. And yeah, the first game was, we played way better, but we got into overtime and we won with a golden goal.
Mm-hmm.
But we knew like we were playing and we were playing better. They didn't have any chances. And then also the final, playing better than them, being superior. And again, like conference champion for the first time. And then again, like that was a new experience. Better celebration, of course, because it's new ring. So
Yeah.
everything is going to your head, like 2 years, 2 ring, like this is insane. What is next? What is next?
What was next?
And then we go to national for first time in their history.
Yeah.
We lost 4-0.
Yeah.
So we're not good doing the next step. We're not doing
Which school is that against?
Lake Erie.
Lake Erie.
Yeah, that name is gonna be in my mind my whole life,
wow.
probably. Yeah.
That game. Do you remember it?
Every single minute, probably.
Every minute.
I made a PK in the last minute too for the 4-0. They were superior. Like.
Pretty good.
But also the mentality that we had when we lost, but in the semi-final of conference for 2023, we wanted one more thing.
You won again.
Yeah.
So 2022, moving into 2023, you had to transition into again.
Yeah.
We had to do the same thing over again.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think people outside of NCAA sports or college sports, NAIA, whatever, JUCO, understand the monotonous behavior or the monotonous environment of college sports or school in general, because you do this for a period of time, you prepare for seasons, and it's separated into like 3 or 4 of them, 3 or 4 seasons throughout the year. So the preseason or the preseason, the preseason, the season, then the off season. So it's like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But you have to do this over and over again. And so far you've done it. So 2021, 22, you've done it twice. Now you have to do it again for 23, and you actually won again.
Mm-hmm.
So you won 3 titles, doing the same thing over and over again. I'm interested to know what has changed. What has changed in those 3 years that would have allowed you to do it 3 times, in 21, in 22, and 23. Has anything changed, or has everything seemed to remain the same?
No, I feel like it's 3 titles, but 3 different stories. Like it's 3 different personal and team-wise too. I feel like in the personal, my first year it was more like I play every single minute because like usually freshman doesn't play, but I was lucky because not lucky, but 2 players got injured, so I wasn't supposed to be a starter because I came out of shape. So then the first year I confronted more like, okay, I'm playing, I'm here like second center back, like helping my other center back that was captain, senior. So I felt like I was important, but I wasn't like, how you say before, I was on the team, playing minutes, but nothing else. Like, so that second year I said to myself, I want to be important in the team. I do a good year and I win Defensive Player of the Year. And I feel like that changed also my mentality for the next 3rd year, because also the coach gave me the confidence of like, this 3rd year I want you like leading the team with, of course, a couple more players because you are like the oldest. And my mindset changed a little bit. So I feel like I have that responsibility to take compared with the first year that I was like, okay, I'm the second center back. Mm-hmm. I'm helping him. I'm going to do the best for the team. At this point, my 3rd year, I was like, I have responsibilities in this team and I need to do my best and I need to give the team in their best to win this. Because I saw that the team had like the potential, not just to win the conference and the regular season. We had the potential to go way further. I'm lucky that we lost in second round in the last minute of the overtime. But I felt like my paper like on that year was more like leadership and plus my like qualities in the field, of course. But it was more like I felt more responsible of every single player.
Mm-hmm. 2023, you did say before that you would have played Summer League after that, and that was your first time. This is 2025. So
2024, I played in summer,
yeah. And you are now at a stage where, well, I'm out of eligibility, kind of.
No, yeah, at that point, 1,000%.
At that point,
Yeah.
and you're like, well, what's next? What am I gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, okay, well, I'm trying to. You didn't have any years left, did you? You didn't. You did.
At that point, I didn't even know about more years of
Yeah.
eligibility, or I wasn't even thinking
Yeah.
of playing more college.
But you did, and you managed to find a school.
Yeah.
Before we mentioned the school, was there any other interests or opportunities for you to play elsewhere rather than where you are now?
Yeah. That summer I went to Atlanta because, well, for international students you can apply for the OPT. That is 1 year in America for work, and some leagues, professional leagues, accept that as a visa. So I was like, might as well apply. So I applied for it, and I signed for a combine in Atlanta at the end of the summer. So for that reason I went to play to Atlanta, because I had the combine, so I could play the summer and then at the end do the combine. And at that point, that was my only thing that I have for the future. And in that combine, they selected me in the best 3 in the combine. But being international, in America, it's hard to find a spot in professional teams. Yeah. They told me that I will have opportunity to go to Finland or Iceland to do more tryouts. But at that point, I was like, yes, no, yeah. I didn't know, but this was August. So I came back to Oklahoma. And then I was thinking, like, what can I do? Because I want to stay in America. Like, I feel like here is going to be better than to go to Iceland right now. Yeah. So I started contacting Oklahoma, some coaches in NCAA, because I just did 3 years in NCAA. So they gave me that year in the school. Before, like, 2 weeks before the preseason started. So it was pretty quick, everything. So, and I didn't have a chance. Like, I had to choose the school that had offer. That was all.
But it just happened to be the school that's closest to your previous school.
In front of it. Yeah.
Did you want to go there?
I mean, at that point, that I just had an option in Oklahoma, because I didn't have time to be looking for other teams around the country. Yeah. I wanted to, but I didn't have a choice, if that makes sense. Like, I wasn't sure about taking the decision, and I had to take it without wanting. Like, I was still deciding, and they made me, like, sign, because I was rushing, because the paper, because everything. So it was a little bit disappointed, especially right after season, because it wasn't how it should be. But I don't know, I had a feeling from the beginning that maybe I wasn't doing the right choice. But, well, I feel like you learn from everything. I, like, made good friends in there, and that's what I get from there, not anything else.
Yeah. So now you're transitioning from SNU in the NCAA to SCU in NAIA, and you played your first season last year. Yeah. How would you describe it? How would you describe the season? Because if your first year at a different school now, after 3 years of success, what happened at SU?
I feel like people wasn't, like, adapting to the team. We started, like, late to have a strategy to play. Like, we didn't go with a strategy to play games at the beginning. We were just, like, scrimmages, fitness. So I felt like that made us not do a great season, like, not having things clear from the beginning. People was wondering about what happened with this, but we hadn't a clear idea. And I felt like we had great players, but we didn't work together. Like, we didn't work out. Good year defensively, because, like, we concede less than 1 goal per game, but this game is about to score in the other net, and we didn't do it. And we didn't lose a lot of games, but we got, like, 5th in the season. We had, like, 5-6 ties.
Really?
Yeah. So not as I expected, but from everything you can learn. So
yeah. And out of all of this, you studied sports management at SNU.
Mm-hmm.
You then eventually had to do a master's at SCU, which was in religious studies.
Yeah, global Christian leadership.
Global Christian leadership. I remember we spoke before this, but you're saying that your academics, from even in Spain, has always been like, you put it to the side a bit.
Yeah.
But with the reason, because you're still looking to fulfill the dream of becoming a professional footballer.
Yeah, exactly.
Soccer player. Are you satisfied like where you are right now? Yeah.
Pretty satisfied, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't. That's what I'm like. From the 2 years degree in Spain to here that I'm now, I feel like I had a big change, not just in school, but like as a person, and I'm like pretty good with that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good because my GPA here, it was way better also because I had that motivation that I didn't have in Spain. Like, also you depends on your GPA to play, but being happy in a sport, like going to practice happy, everything going good, winning also is important. I feel like makes you like be motivated to do other stuff, to do your responsibility, like do other responsibility, do a school, do assignments, go to class maybe. So I feel like I still put football here, but I was motivated to fulfill as a scholar, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, as a student.
Yeah. And now that you played one season in the NAIA, compare that to the level of NCAA, the Division 2 level. Is there a difference?
Yes, there is difference. There are like older players, I feel like, in NAIA too. That's one of the main things, because I feel like you see players that are like grown, not as good as NCAA. I feel like the organization is better in NCAA as well. But what I feel in NAIA is like it's so competitive. Like every game is like anything can win. Especially like the team like in the middle of the age. Like even from top to the middle is like pretty tight. Anything can happen. Same in NCAA, but I felt like it's more messy. Like the games, the practices too, the facilities, some of them is not as organized as in NCAA that you go to. SNU is like small, but you go to other school in your conference or in the country and you see like facilities that you're like, damn, this is D2 still, like this is not even D1, it's NCAA, and you can see the differences. Yeah.
Alvaro, it's now at the time of recording this is 2025 March. What's next for you?
Well, football, of course. Well, now we are seeing about maybe an extra year of eligibility in college because of this new waiver that they are making. So that's an option. I'm trying to look for it, but in the long way, I just play professional here, overseas, wherever. And I feel like if I keep doing what I'm doing, I'm gonna finish playing professional. So that's the main goal. Hopefully it happens.
Alvaro, I'm sure there's a lot of young athletes behind the camera who are not just looking to learn from what you're saying, they're also like congratulating you for what you've done.
Thank you.
And I'm sure there's a lot of young players, wherever they are, it's like, well, you know, you've given them something to look forward to, and to, if they're looking to come and play in the US, or they're looking to play also in summer leagues and whatnot, how the process of working in the US works. And it's the value that you've given them is something that there's no price on that. But what value could you give to the next guest, not necessarily knowing who they are, but what value could you give to the next guest that could give them something to think about, to look forward to?
Well, I feel like the tattoo that I have in my leg also will help, like step by step always, but always with a goal. Don't go step by step for nowhere, you know, like have always a goal in mind. dream with it, but don't let the goal become a dream. Let the goal be a goal and make yourself complete it, like fulfill it. And anything can change, anything can happen at any point of your life. I will never expect me winning 3 rings or playing in first division of my academy when I was in the world team 2 years before that. But if you are in the right position, doing what you need to do, you're gonna be able to complete your goal, and that's the important thing. Always be in the right spot. Never miss a practice, or never be consistent.
Consistent.
Consistent. I don't know that word. It's hard for me. But yeah. Never give up. And that makes sense. Yeah, never give up. Never.
Alvaro, thank you, man. I appreciate this so much, and I'm sure a lot of athletes would too as well. So I appreciate you coming on, and thank you again.
Of course. Thank you.
Awesome.